Welcome to Malt Liquor Socialist. I'm Mr. Kiefer, your host, and today I'm joined by my co-host with the appropriate amount of most, Mr. Morgan.
I am the hostess with the mostest? I don't know. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, no, all right. So just for breaking character real quick, we do have an interview today with an active participant in the recall efforts of the Josephine County Commissioners, and I just want to make sure... I didn't actually test this before we started recording. Were you able to actually hear the theme music as it was going?
Not at all.
Okay, cool. So now we know at least on Zoom the loopback stuff doesn't work. But we're not going to be watching videos.
We're just sitting over here silent. And he's just over there watching us.
Yeah, just kind of dancing the music a little bit.
Heads bobbing. You guys are into it. I'm like,
all right. No worries. So then I guess next time we won't do Zoom just because Zoom with the loopback feature doesn't work. That's okay. We'll joke about this later. So
I already am.
Good Lord. So today our guest, we've already heard his voice. He is the administrator of Rogue Indivisible Discussion Group, the Facebook page, and he's taken an amazingly active role with the Workers Over Billionaires rally. And it is my pleasure to introduce Matt Spurlock.
how's it going, guys? Glad to be here.
Group.
Yeah,
It's great.
It's
good to have you.
Beautiful day. And I'm enjoying the fact that we didn't have to run the air conditioner in this room for half an hour before we started. It's been not that hot. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So we'll get into this then. So Matt, I have some questions for you. Most of these are prepared ahead of time. And just for the listeners' sake, we did share these with Matt because I don't like ambushing people with questions. That's dickish.
God, no.
But so I want to start with some icebreakers, just stuff about you, interest, and then we're going to then get into questions about Rogue Indivisible, the discussion group, and work our way potentially to the recall petition effort. So
Sure.
I have been told, Matt, that you are a musician.
You've been told correctly.
Excellent. Good. I don't like being lied to. What got you into being a musician, if you don't mind me asking?
I came from a pretty musical household, but as a kid, my favorite movie was Back to the Future. And of
Yes. Oh, sorry.
course, Marty McFly playing the guitar. So yeah, I just wanted to be cool like Marty McFly for sure.
Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I have to share, I was able to realize a childhood dream. I went and did like a sightseeing tour of a bunch of the different filming locations this past November. And every year they recreate the Enchantment Under the Sea dance in the same gym where it was filmed.
Oh,
Seriously?
Yes, so they redecorate it the same way and everything. They had a live band playing, like all that stuff. And so I got to wear my Marty McFly, like what he wore on stage.
Nice.
Like I have a similar costume. And I'll grab the guitar here in just a second. But I got to be on that same stage and play Johnny Be Good at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Jesus. That's awesome.
Right?
I mean,
I'll grab the guitar.
Oh,
go do it.
Dude, seriously, that's freaking amazing.
Oh my God. Okay, I am a huge Back to the Future fan as well, and that is amazing. That's wonderful.
Right. So
Yeah.
for the listeners, what you're seeing is this guitar has been autographed by Goldie Wilson, Jennifer Parker, and Marvin Berry.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm not big.
Okay, well,
Damn. I'm not big into music, but that is the most awesome thing I have seen in a long goddamn time. Jesus.
I am big into music, and that's a bucket list for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing, and now I got to do that. Yep.
Oh.
Tickets were only like $25. And
What?
I went to the Shriners.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay. Well,
So there were 5 DeLoreans there. Several people from the movies. That's where I got it signed. It was special. For sure.
amazing.
You are now giving Mr. Morgan here like goals, life goals.
Oh
This is
my
great.
God. This is something I didn't even know existed, but now desperately need.
Yep.
Right?
Okay. I'll get into some more of these questions. I don't have terribly too many of these icebreakers. So I want to check, is there a specific genre of music that you prefer and or a specific genre of music that you can't stand? And if yes to either of those, Why?
Right. So for me, what draws me to music is it's generally 3 to 4 minutes to get a message across. So I really enjoy music that just has a message that's really saying something. And so my current favorite artist is Jesse Wells, folk guy that's doing that whole singing the news thing, and just has just a really poignant spin on all the events that are going on, and it's usually so timely. He almost always has the song out the next day after whatever the event is.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this next question might be a little bit redundant. I apologize if it is. Is there a specific musical artist that you take inspiration from? And again, I don't expect there to be one specific one, but
yeah, I'll say so. As a songwriter and being involved in bands, it's more like several of my songs are almost tributes to some of my favorite artists, and so like there's one song that I wrote. It's in kind of a military series. It's called "Not Gonna Die," and it's about somebody in Vietnam. Shouldn't have been there. But he's going to do what it took to survive. And that was kind of like an homage to Alice in Chains and their song "Rooster." So it's a completely different style, than that particular song, but it is a similar style to what Alice in Chains has done in other
Nice
instances. So yeah, there's several. So just a lot of my childhood interests, continue to influence my songwriting today.
Cool.
Nice.
That's awesome.
very nice. All right. Well, that's all I have for the icebreakers. Mr. Morgan, do you have any other questions about music? Because, I mean,
Oh God.
you're the music buff over here. I am not.
I don't know. I like I said, the Back to the Future thing, that's rad. He's showing us all of his stuff. Oh God. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Pigs on the Wing. Oh God. See, yeah, I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. And Back to the Future, and oh my God, I desperately want to be your friend now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Or-
good, some
yeah.
good stuff.
Well,
All right. Well,
let's dig in. Come
yeah,
on, John.
Let's get into the nitty gritty.
Come on.
Some of the stuff. So
For sure.
All right. So getting into, I want to start like with the Rogue Indivisible discussion group. Sure. So I kind of got this answer a little bit because the video that you shared earlier, kind of before our podcast, the one that was on YouTube. By the way, I followed you on YouTube now because that was awesome.
Sweet. Thanks.
But the video where some schmo mentioned you in the recall petitions and stuff, that was interesting. And you kind of answered this question, but for anybody who hasn't watched that video, did you start the Rogue Indivisible discussion group, or did someone else start it and you kind of got put in the position as an admin?
Yeah, so that group has existed for years. I couldn't tell you when it started, but I really got involved with Rogue Indivisible in June of this year. So I was added as an admin fairly recently, and most of that was just for convenience because every post that goes into the group has to pass the moderators, maybe the admins, to be posted. And so I was posting things that needed to go out immediately, and I had to wait for one of the other 3 people to accept those, and sometimes it would be a couple days. And I was like, guys, you just make me an admin. Don't make me wait.
That's fair.
That's one way to get your stuff out.
Right? For sure.
And efficient.
Yeah.
All right. So then, what is the purpose of the Rogue Indivisible discussion group? And I'm looking for 2 answers here, potentially, if they're different. I want to know what the idea was, before you got in as an admin, and as an admin yourself, do you have any intention with it that might be not separate from, but maybe different, or taking it in a direction that it wasn't before?
That's a good question. So the main purpose of the group, it is a private group, by the way. So you have to be a member. You have to agree, to basic questions. And we're looking at possibly revamping those, just because we want it to feel protected. So I mean, there's plenty of public forums that all these same people comment in, and so we just wanted to have a space where we could share, similar news story, things that would be of similar interest anyway. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really trying to be informative, about current events, what's going on, because we are dealing with, just a fire hose of whether it's information or disinformation coming from this current administration. And so this is kind of a place to collect a lot of that, and to comment on it and share our thoughts and, see kind of where we think that we should respond as a group, where something might just be more appropriate for an individual response. But yeah, it's not really something that I'm trying to take in a particular direction. It's just, a place to, share, things that are specific to Rogue Indivisible, but really it's mostly, a national and local politics kind of thing.
Okay, nice. Let's see. Do you or the Facebook group, do you try to work with other Facebook groups, like collaboration?
Not really. So we also have like our main Rogue Indivisible Facebook page, and that's really just going to be like kind of our public face. So that's, here's the next rally, here's the basic information when it starts. Anything that's just we want out there for the public to know is going to be posted there. But yeah, there's very little collaboration between the pages so far, but that doesn't really reflect us as a group. So we feel it's our responsibility to provide the space for these big national events. So like No Kings, Hands Off, those sorts of things, and we invite these other groups to come, and sometimes they'll even set up a table. To talk about their group and what they do. For example, we had a Grants Pass Remembrance Project at the Good Trouble event that we did in Riverside Park. But we haven't really had any Facebook or any social media collaboration so much. And we don't share that from our main page either. So it's really just Rogue Indivisible specific stuff on there.
Okay, cool.
Would you want to try to make this like more of a, for lack of a better term that's not coming to my head, like a public group where you focus like more like online and you go out and do events? Or do you think it's just better to keep an online presence?
I'm not 100% sure what you mean there. Can you try to...
Well, like, do you want to like make this into like an organization? Do you want to, say this is sponsored by Rogue Indivisible and we meet, here on Sundays, or do you just want to have it like, keep it just a Facebook group, just keep it an online thing where you guys show up to this stuff and whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the latter.
Okay.
So like we're not trying to influence like local politics or national politics kind of directly. We're more just serving as an umbrella, for our collective, this the ideals that we hold as a group.
Sure.
So it's more of a place for individuals to gather together rather than a group that's trying to affect change.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
So
yeah.
like when I go to the commissioners meetings or things like that, I'm going just as myself. I'm not saying like,
right.
I'm the chair of Rogue Indivisible and that I represent 2,000 people, trying to make you be more transparent or something like that. So it's yeah, so like we don't have an official membership. Like there's no blood oaths or anything like that.
Yeah,
so.
I'll put my knife away.
We haven't worked those out yet, anyway.
Okay.
So yeah,
well,
like
that's cool. Yeah,
we put this stuff out on social media, and if people show up to our events, that's great. But yeah, I mean, there's maybe like 30 of us that are like, I would say more involved than others, and like we have a separate Slack group for that, and that's pretty much like, hey, what are you bringing to the event? Like, oh, can you be there at this time? to set up the table and chairs and stuff like that.
Sure.
So
Nice.
that's about it.
Okay.
No, the reason I find that specifically interesting is because in a couple of videos now, people have pointed out Rogue Indivisible as a political group, and it's like,
yeah, that's kind of why I brought it up, because there was a few videos that Mr. Kiefer showed me where they're like really adamant that this Rogue Indivisible is some sort of an organization, and we're watching it going, they're a Facebook group. Like, what are you guys yelling about? Yeah. Like, but they're taking it just way out of context. So I was kind of wondering if maybe, I don't know, you wanted to go that direction, but yeah.
Yeah, so the name that's bandied about all the time is George Soros. George Soros has there's a better chance that I know the ant in my backyard's name than George Soros knows my name. Like, we're totally unaffiliated.
Right.
Like so even though we organize as an indivisible group, that's really just so people, have a shorthand for knowing, who this group is and generally what we stand for. So we haven't gotten any funds from Indivisible National. We've had a little bit of interaction with kind of the statewide person. And that was really just to set up our Act Blue account so we can accept donations.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, we haven't even gotten that done so far. So we have the account, but it's just a struggle to get all that going. But yeah, of the $500 that we've raised, none of that has come from George Soros. So name your favorite demon billionaire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill Gates?
Oh,
No,
God.
no.
Taylor Swift.
No. Oh, Jesus God.
She, however, no.
So, okay. Well, I want to shift a little bit. The next few questions I have, I believe, are about the Workers Over Billionaires rally that there was a couple weeks ago. So in that recent rally, the Workers Over Billionaires, you seem to play a very active role, if not in organizing the rally, just like being vocal and, I don't want to say directing it, but I mean, you were there on your truck, you had speakers, you were doing a really good job of just like, I don't want to say managing, but that's the best thing I can come up with.
Sure.
My interior thesaurus is not working right now. It's Saturday. I want to know, how did you find yourself in that kind of role?
Well, first, I feel like I have to quote Michael Scott in his management book, somehow I manage. That's an Office reference for you guys.
Yep.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, no, I guess, it's I am the main person that puts those events on. And, being a musician, I have all that sound equipment stuff. So it's really not all that inconvenient for me to just set it up, either in my truck or I've used a flatbed trailer that I have before too, to set that up. And we found that it really just kind of galvanizes the people, because they're standing there with their signs for 2 hours. And so it just goes better if they're able to, sing along and dance and all that kind of stuff. And the first time I brought that out was for No Kings. And we had, probably 50 counter protesters at No Kings. And so they usually have just a little megaphone or, like a speaker attached to their hip. And that's no comparison to my full scale musician's PA system. So I think that's been kind of demoralizing for them because there were only 2.5 counter protesters at Workers Over Billionaires.
Yeah, I counted 2. One was Fascist Santa, and the other one was some guy across the street that had a Trump. I think it was a Trump 2024. I don't think it was a Trump 2028 banner, but it was just
Jesus.
He looked very sad.
Right. For sure.
Okay. So was there anything at the Workers Over Billionaires rally that you had not planned for or anticipated? Effectively, were there any surprises that popped up?
Definitely. Fascist Santa is very difficult to plan for. You always know he's going to make an appearance. But, because we don't have regular membership meetings and stuff like that where, 500 people show up like they do to the rallies, it's really hard for us to, tell the group, do not engage this guy. His one goal in life is to get you to punch him in the face. Like that's all he wants. And so somebody that I didn't know, I still don't know what his name was, did engage with Pelfrey and I guess spit in his face. And so we tried to, some people that are more involved with the group tried to get between them and, minimize the confrontation. But yeah, and honestly, I guess as far as things that we didn't plan for, we planned for more opposition. And we've had a lot more in the past, but their resolve seems to be dwindling.
Yeah, no, that definitely caught me by surprise because I have not been able to make it to all of these. And when I do, I love going to these. But yeah, no, the last couple of ones I went to, it's like there was at least more. I mean, if not at the across the other side of the street on the right in front of the Republican headquarters, there was at least more. And I think the most I caught was maybe like a dozen and a half. No, never mind. The first one I went to, that was at the start of the year, the only one I've ever seen Barnett at. There was a good 24, but that was still sad.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. So if I recall correctly, you've already provided some information online about what the next rally and or protest is. Do you care to share some of that information for our listeners?
Sure. No Kings was our biggest rally so far this year. That was back in June. And No Kings 2 is going to be on October 18th. So we're planning to do that from 10 to 1 out in front of the courthouse that day. Generally, we go for 2 hours, but we're trying to make this more of an event and be able to include more people. So like this last one was Workers Over Billionaires, and I wasn't able to coordinate people to do chants and things like that. And, I'm working to get more people involved so, they can express their frustration about, whatever it is. We have a lot of different rallying cries, and you probably noticed that on the signs, that the signs in Workers Over Billionaires weren't about just one thing. People were out there protesting the violence in Gaza. They were protesting, the Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, all those cuts in the big beautiful bill. All kinds of different reasons that people are fired up, and it's our goal to give them a safe and I guess public space to be able to do that as a group without telling them what to do. I think when you get into telling people like you're allowed to be outraged about this, but not this other thing, that I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a level of control that I don't desire to have, and I don't think that the government should be doing either.
Right.
But yeah, so I've got some big plans for No Kings 2. We think that part of the reason that drew such a big crowd is that it was really easy to understand that concept. Trump is acting like a king, going for a third term, like, I'll be a dictator for a day, and then that turned into, well, people are telling me they might really want to have a dictator, stuff like that. So, we're hoping for a big crowd, and hopefully your listeners will be there.
Nice. Yeah.
That'd be great. All right. Well, unless Mr. Morgan or Mr. Spurlock have anything else that they want to ask or touch on, and I will pause in case there is.
How active are you with the recall efforts?
Oh, I was going to get into
That's
that
a great question.
stuff
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
You're cutting me off, man.
I'm sorry.
Go for it. Go for it. It's good.
Right? No, that's totally good. And I was just going to say, I don't think that either of you had dropped a single F-bomb so far, so you're way behind your usual count.
No.
God fucking damn it.
You had to bring
God,
it up.
Right? What the fuck, guys?
God.
Yeah.
I am... this guy tells me, hey, could you like tone it down when we have like guests on and everything? And I'm like, oh yes, John, I will be very respectful to you. And then you come on and you're like, where's the fucking F-bombs? What the fuck are we doing?
So
Yeah.
in my defense, the general chemistry we have going on here when it's just us two schmucks and assholes, I'm not against swearing, and my goal when we're doing a lot of stuff, especially when we are looking over the county commissioner meetings, is this is rage bait for this guy. And I'm looking for that stuff because for me, this is like the third or fourth time I've watched this video, and this is cathartic because I get to experience it through somebody else's eyes.
No, I'm just angry Statler and Waldorf.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
But when we have guests, if you're okay with it, I don't give a flying fuck. My immediate idea is, unless I know you personally, I'm going to try to not use a lot of swear words because I'm being civil, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But
so thank you, Matt, for letting the gloves come off a little. Oh God,
Absolutely.
I feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be great. So, anyways,
Yeah.
So-
no, this isn't water. This is a margarita in my Dutch Bros.
Hell
cup here,
yeah.
so
damn.
yeah. Let's get a little more friendly. I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, so you asked about the recall
Yes,
effort. So there is a video going around saying that the Rogue Indivisible is organizing the whole thing and all this kind of stuff. So to speak to my involvement so far, I wasn't asked to give input on what specific things would go on the petition, whether or not Ron Smith would be recalled, nothing. So pretty much Rick Flora, who is involved in both groups, approached me and asked me if I would be able to help with the post office. So my whole job is like 3 to 4 days a week. I bring a table and chairs, signs, and an umbrella to the post office and pick them up.
And that's it?
That's it. I think my involvement is because I have a truck.
Wow. And here I thought you were some evil mastermind doing all of
Right?
this. The way the other side has been throwing tomatoes at you, Jesus Christ.
For sure.
I mean, we might need to get an evil laugh from you just so we can justify that.
Right?
There we go. Okay.
Right?
So,
There we go.
Okay.
So there was an organization meeting like right before the paperwork was filed, and that was at Wild River Pub. And Wild River is the owners are MAGA, but they are willing to be a community space for just about anybody.
Okay.
So I mean, if you're bringing 80 people there, like to drink their food or drink their drinks and eat their food, they're stoked to have you.
Business is business.
It's true.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I used to work there, and I ran a trivia night there every week for a year and a half. So I'm very familiar with the sound system and all that kind of stuff. So I was facilitating that, but yeah, I didn't have any input on what was said or anything like that.
Okay. Cool.
And since I brought up the invisible hand, Mr. Deep State himself, Rick Flora.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Right. So Rick was one of the 3 people that was keeping Rogue Indivisible going just as a Facebook group. Vicky Palmerton, deserves most of the credit there or blame, depending on who you are. And so Rick, like what he does, for organizations is organize. So he's involved with PATH. He's involved with CRG. Obviously the recall movement and Rogue Indivisible. So pretty much what he does is sets up the Slack page, or the Signal chat. Like he's just like an administrator, par excellence. So his involvement with the recall is to get volunteers where they're supposed to be, and to just badger people like, hey, you need to, sign up for more shifts and stuff like that. But that's really it.
I mean, you make this sound less like some deep state conspiracy and more like people just trying to organize a damned recall.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Man, and here I thought, we were going to interview this Matt Spurlock guy, and get all this nitty gritty information. And this dude's just a regular guy, John. Come on.
Right.
Look, I'm sorry, man. Matt, you got to step up your game.
Yes.
No, so, okay, the next one I have on here. So in our prior episode, at the very end of it, because it was a long episode. The last couple ones were like over 2 hours long. I don't know what. I just apparently hate us. Apparently,
or me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Us. I hate it. I'm here too with you, dude.
I know.
But no, we covered over the reasons for the recall petition for Commander Chris and Bletch. So I want to know, do you believe that there are other reasons to recall these 2 out of 3 Stooges? The reason I'm asking is because I know on that petition there's a character cap. And I mean, those are great reasons they have on there, but those are like some of the really big, obvious ones where it's like, okay, it's really hard for anybody to argue against this. Are there any other reasons, though, that you might think, would be valid? They just didn't make it on the petition?
Yeah, definitely. And, you're right that it wasn't a character cap, it was a word cap. So we were capped to what I was told is that they were capped to 200 words. And so that's, pretty limited word count. But yeah, so there's a lot of reasons. And so think about, Bleck or Bletch, as you guys call him all the time. And I'm not sure which one's correct.
The one that sounds right.
Yes, for sure. He has a mining operation going on in Sunny Valley that I just learned about recently. And it's something that's been going on for a long time. So dating back to his previous tenure as an appointed county commissioner, he is, well, I guess more information here. There was another company that wanted to do some gold mining in that particular section of Graves Creek. And he and West just let the application sit there and die. So this company was going to pay $10 million to the county to have this claim. And so what Bleck has done is he's tried to skirt, kind of the rules around gold mining and open a gravel mining operation there instead. So I would think that the river would not be, or a creek would not be ideal for mining gravel. And this is the tributary right to the wild and scenic section of the Rogue. So this is just upriver from the Graves Creek, boat ramp, bridge, all that.
Yeah. That's not going to have any impact on tourism or anything.
My God.
Jeez.
No, or fish. Yeah. So that's still ongoing. I know he's dealing with a lot of issues with the EPA and with the state of Oregon and all that, but I think that that's one of the primary motivating factors for him to be a county commissioner, is to give himself a sweetheart deal. We've already seen him do that with the airport.
Yes,
he does serve on the airport board. He's got planes, helicopters, paragliders. I don't even know what. He's got all kinds of stuff out there, and essentially giving himself or his organization a $3 million interest-free line of credit with no collateral is a bit of a conflict of interest.
Yes, a bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Just scotch.
For sure. And I think that the Barnett, his interests are much, I don't know, more simple, I guess. Barnett, in the clip that you guys played last week when I was speaking to the commissioners, I addressed him as Reporter Barnett.
Yes.
Right. So that seems to be what he wants. Like, I think that if you gave him the option, tomorrow to take his same salary to just be like the tourism coordinator for Grants Pass, he would jump on that in a moment.
Oh,
just to go film videos at different businesses and stuff like that.
And he would be so good at that.
Right?
God.
Yeah. Honestly,
yes.
You're not wrong. He's a great cheerleader.
Yeah. He can speak out both sides of his mouth. It'd be great.
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Yep. Every restaurant's going to be the best one in town and all that kind of stuff. It's whatever, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think between that and his real estate business, just having this high profile position where he's in front of people all the time, and being able to rub elbows with the big spenders in the county, is just a way to elevate him and his brand and his businesses. The things that were most important to me for the recall were the library, and I think it's a huge ding to his character, Barnett in particular, this elder abuse case.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's at least $3.2 million or 3.2 million reasons that he wants to have this position in county government. But I guess more to answer your question, there was another incident that happened in Lakeside, Oregon. So there was some sort of public feeding for the unhoused or something like that. Okay. And the volunteers that came to this, they were told, at the end of it, whatever food's left over, just, box it up and take it home to your family. We don't really have a plan for this. And so according to the police report, Barnett saw this and was enraged and starts arguing with somebody and pulls a gun. Right?
What?
Okay. I heard about the gun pulling incident. I did not have the details. I thought this was like maybe he was just being stupid that had nothing to do with anything important.
What
this is
the
okay.
fuck?
I'm sorry. I interrupted. Continue.
Jesus.
I need
okay.
to hear this.
So he is banned from all city property in Lakeside, Oregon because of this incident. So somebody who's banned from like an entire town probably shouldn't be running a whole county.
Holy shit. Yeah, I would totally agree. He pulled a gun on someone trying to take food away.
Yes.
Which the organization was asking people, please take this food.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So
Thank
I've
you.
just seen what's in the
right.
police report. I did contact the county.
Yes.
Which I think is Coos County.
Okay.
And to see if they would verify the information that was in the report, and they did. So yeah, there's a story about it. The Tribune posted like back in last November.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Okay.
Goddamn.
All right.
That's-
Well, I got nothing, John. I am beside myself.
I am using this wording correctly. That is beautiful. Not like that. That's not like, oh my God, this fills me with such confidence. It's like for the sheer idiocy of that. That is art.
Yeah.
The fact that somebody would be that goddamn stupid and oh God. Okay, that paints the whole more recent incident that I heard about where Commander was doing trying to do his reporter thing. I think this was at the is it Rogue Salad? New place?
Salad.
Yeah. Apparently he went in to try to, do his journalist thing. And it sounds like when he went in, because his gun wasn't holstered properly, it fell out of the holster and onto the ground. And I'm sorry. I have not served. I have never been in law enforcement. My spouse has served. And upon hearing this, her reaction was, are you fucking kidding me? Somebody who's been in the military, to have that happen, they would have their ass reamed by somebody if that ever happened. It's so, oh God almighty.
Wow.
This just adds new layers to that. That's
Wow.
beautiful.
Thank you for that.
Because I wasn't there, and because
Right.
the police report is mostly hearsay, both sides, and there's no video of the event. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if the same thing happened there, and the act of him picking up his gun from the ground was misconstrued as him waving it at people or something like that. But either way, the facts are he's not allowed back on public property there.
I go ahead.
So I can see that as a possibility. I don't think, I'm going to stress the word think.
Yeah.
That is very likely, just because if it was a matter of, unless he was picking it up in the most gun wavy manner possible, I think it's pretty straightforward. Like, oh, this fell on the ground. I picked it up. I'm just going to put it back in here, make sure it's secure. I don't imagine that would elicit much in terms of a police report.
Right. And see, that's what I was going to say. And, this is, of course, the opinion of Mr. Morgan LLC, but you don't get banned from county property. Like, okay, sure, it's, a faux pas for your gun to fucking fall out. Like, I get that. But it, like, okay, whatever, like if you're the cops, if you're the county, like, okay, like, well, yeah, that's terrible, but whatever. But to be banned, that's almost like he did something to get banned. Like, yeah. And we're talking Coos County too.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more than just his gun falling out.
Hopefully he will clarify.
Yes.
And hopefully he doesn't do so like from his commissioner's office on commissioner time.
Yeah, he has a habit of that.
He sure does. But yeah, so I mean, and since the recall started, there was a video that, well, I actually referenced it in the clip that you guys shared last week in the commissioners meeting, is that he is purposely trying to intimidate voters.
Yeah.
So he organized this group to be at the courthouse when the Restore group was, filing the paperwork. And since then, he's recorded several videos and put out several statements telling people to look who's signing these things. You'll be shocked. Look at the names. And we've had several people come up, try to take pictures of the sheets to see who is actually signing these. And what I've experienced myself is I've had several of his minions come after me with, death threats. Like, you take your life into your own hands when you go to downtown Grants Pass. There's things like that. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
He is absolutely stoking their worst fears and feeding into this.
Right.
Trying to save his own skin.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if, did you guys see the Charlie Kirk memorial thing that they did?
I did not see it. I caught oh God, on one of his Facebook media things, he shared it, and there were comments on there, and I'll be perfectly blunt about that, to break away from the local and to talk about that for just a moment. I don't give a shit. Charlie Kirk, in my very humble opinion, was a moronic, bigoted shitweasel. His rise to fame, and he did other things, but his big rise to fame was he'd go to college campuses and he would record himself debating students, primarily first years, who did not know much about debate because they're first year students. And then he would edit out the ones where they actually owned him, and he used a lot of racist, bigoted, sexist talking points. And the whole thing of like, oh, he got shot. Look, I'm sorry for him and his family, but my ability to project empathy, or to have empathy for him, is about as far as the empathy he's ever shown any gun violence since he's been with the the head of the Turning Point USA thing that he started, which is zero.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm sorry. I had to go off on a round that's been bottled up for a while, and bottled up is wrong. I've been going nuts on social media with that because Jesus fuck. But yeah, I did not catch the actual thing. I just caught the thing on there, and I for once bit my tongue because it's one of the ones he has comments on still. Oh, the only reason I did not comment on it was because I've already been blocked from social media shit before, and if I want to be able to see the stuff he's posted so that we can comment on it, I can't get blocked from it again.
Yeah,
right. No, I totally understand. I feel like that I personally 100% agree with you, but in my efforts as a community organizer of sorts, like, my call just has to be for nonviolence and for just looking for any sort of unity that we can have. Like, okay, what happened to Charlie was terrible. What happened in Colorado the same day, almost the same time, is terrible. Like, we need to do something about this. So we have more guns than we have people in the U.S., so gun violence is something that, is going to happen. And until we do something about it. I have no recommendations for what that might be. I don't know.
Yeah. And to clarify, with that fun little rant I did, I am not of the opinion that Charlie Kirk should have been shot or deserved to be shot. In no way, shape, or form was that the case. It's just a matter of, I refuse to have pity or empathy for this guy because, at the very least, it's the first school shooting that Republicans have cared about. That's it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of on the nose, and that is a meme from Facebook, not original thought. But the biggest issue I have with this, it's not even that he got shot. Again, shouldn't have happened. All this. What drives me up the wall is, before they had the shooter, you had politicians who, on one side of the fence, were like, this should not have happened. We need to be unified. We need to, they're actually trying to be unifying and peaceful. And hey, we need to help heal already before we're even getting into blaming. And then you had one side going, yeah, it was a liberal terrorist, a left indoctrinated person. I'm not doing an impression for any specific reason. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. And then the guy's caught, and dude, this is an extreme right winger who was raised in a MAGA family, and he apparently was it Groypor or something, that he was a fan of a group that's a Nick Fuentes fan club. And it's, it's like, it sounds like the reason he shot Charlie Kirk was Charlie Kirk wasn't far enough right wing. And it's like, that's insane, but it's also kind of the, it seems to be the modus operandi.
Yep.
So.
No, 100%. And I didn't take anything you said as being, that you were pro assassination.
I just,
but thank you for clarifying that for sure.
I'm very much like, almost anytime I comment, I have to put in there, and we're not pro this. Like, we do not wish that he died. None of that, because if you don't, I found there are a lot of people that are Charlie Kirk fans that go, you wanted him dead. It's like, no, I in no way, shape, or form said that, and I am putting this in there so that you can't say that, or if you do, it's very obviously
well.
lying.
And I guess I should say something too, since I've been quiet. I feel like for years we have been wanting more gun control in this country, and in a way wanting to save people's lives like Charlie Kirk. We don't want people shot. I don't think that doesn't solve anything. So no, am I happy he got shot? Absolutely not. At the same time, he's a racist bigot. And he was saying how everybody should have guns. Like, a few gun deaths a year are perfectly acceptable to him, as long as we keep, the Second Amendment. And so when you preach that stuff, it's kind of like my parents taught me. If you put hatred out into the world, do not be surprised when hatred comes back to find you. And unfortunately, I think we saw that happen in real time.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Yep.
And you, Mr. Kiefer, used the word empathy multiple times, and there's a famous Charlie Kirk quote, talking about how empathy is weakness and all this. So, like, I'm with you. I'm really struggling to find my empathy for the situation and for him. Considering that this is something we've been talking about for such a long time. There's just been so many, senseless acts of gun violence, for forever. The one I remember first was Columbine, and that was a huge deal. Yeah. And so I'm from Huntington, West Virginia originally, and Michael W. Smith was a big Christian music guy back in the 90s, and he wrote the song like for the Columbine, one of the victims, because apparently she made some sort of like Christian declaration right before she was shot. And so it was maybe even a slightly bigger deal, in my town. Like, he played like benefit concerts and stuff like that, because that's where he's from too. And so I don't know. There's no easy answers. Right. If somebody could just wave a wand and make all the guns disappear tomorrow, like, let's do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if a buyback program works in the U.S. with how many we have. Who would participate in that? Red flag laws. I don't know if that works. I don't know.
The thing is, there are options, and whether or not they'd work is one thing, but we have to try to implement them to see if they would work.
Sure.
And there is just insane resistance from it. Yeah. But I mean, what was it? I think it was after the Columbine shooting when we were in high school. Again, same state, I think. There's been it's the thing that's driving me up the wall. There are so many shootings at schools every year, like mass shootings, that this is such a big one of the original ones, and original's not correct, but it's one of the main ones that hit the media. And it's like, I almost have trouble remembering. That was Oregon, right? Yeah, it was Oregon.
The Springfield one.
Oh God! But
yeah.
But no, I remember when the Columbine one happened. Shortly after, a kid, I think it was a kid, got in a shit ton of trouble because he came to Grants Pass High School dressed in a trench coat, and he had a broomstick under the coat.
Oh,
and that was just like, I don't know what the kid was thinking. It was insanely stupid, and it was one of those things where it's like, you're first off lucky that very shortly after the school shooting, you did not have the police shoot your ass, because that would have been honestly kind of justified. Again, not supporting it, but it's like there would have been like, we thought he had a gun. We just had a school shooting in this area. What the hell do you think we're going to do?
Yeah.
Right.
But I think as time has gone on, because there has been this very lackluster response to these things, you get more and more stuff that's like that. And they're not doing the broomsticks under the trench coats, but they're just like, I am pro Second Amendment right no matter what. And it's like, but you can have regulation. That's not violating your Second Amendment right. No, it is a violation. It's, yeah. That was a fun tangent.
That was great in a dark sort of way.
Oh, so the reason why I even brought it up.
Oh, yes.
So the Kirk vigil that was held here in Grants Pass.
Yeah.
So Patrick Rooney is the other guy that you showed some footage of or talked about.
Yep.
A couple times actually, last week and some others. He recorded the vigil, and Chris Barnett, of course, led it off. And I don't want to say that I was disappointed, because that almost implies like a level of surprise. But Chris, of course, used this as an opportunity to say, to thump his Bible and say that, he and Charlie Kirk have just been so, gone after by different communities and the far left and all this stuff. And like, this recall is, pretty much Barnett's Vietnam. And like, he didn't say that in particular, but
he does think he's dodging bullets, on 6th Street or something. So,
for sure.
He had to
I
make
can't
it about
imagine.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Totally.
Sure. Yeah.
He spoke for a good 5 minutes, and 4.5 of those were about himself.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. It's not surprising. It's unfortunate, but not surprising.
Right.
Sorry. I have to laugh at that, because if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry, because God damn it, that is so sad that a grown-ass man is that full of himself, where, hey, this is a vigil for somebody who, generally are aside, Republicans. I don't know if... I honestly do not know if Chris, prior to Charlie Kirk being shot, even gave 2 wet farts about Charlie Kirk. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might have. He might have been an avid listener. Don't know. Don't care. But the fact that this is a vigil for this person, and you give a 5-minute speech and 4.5 minutes of it are you making it about you, is disgusting.
Yeah.
And again, I have not seen that video. I might have to watch it at some point, because I hate myself. But I have to ask, because this is a common trend with Chris, whether it's in the commissioner meetings or his videos that he posts. Did he spend that 5.5 minutes in a very roundabout way saying the same thing over and over again? So he really didn't say anything new. He just kind of meandered around it.
Of course.
God damn it.
Of course. Yeah. So this is how I, my savior and Charlie Kirk's savior, this is just how we would get up every morning, and how we would, face each day, in the face of all this, just hatred coming from the radical left, and, being recalled.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn it to hell.
It's painful. You got to do it. You got to watch it.
Yeah. No, we might.
Yeah, go ahead, watch it.
Not right now.
No, God, no. What a
no. So look, the only reason I'm not going to do that right now, one, I didn't script it in this. I'm not going to throw that on you, since you've already seen it. I would love to make Mr. Morgan watch it with me, but the problem is, we might record a quick little clip of that later if we have time, just as an extra little bonus release of like, hey, Chris did this, and we're gonna both get a live reaction to this.
I already feel my heart sinking in my chest. All right,
for sure. We got to get the F-bomb count up.
Fuck. Okay, yep.
If it really pisses him off, he's gonna use the C word at least once.
Only once. Yes. I only limit myself to one.
Yeah. It's every time he does that, when I'm going through and editing, it's like, I have to keep this in, but this scares me, because it's the word.
I've noticed that I really only use it when a certain fascist Santa appears on the screen.
Yeah.
Because I think he deserves it just the most.
Yeah. Okay. Jeez. All right. So, geez, I only have one more question on here, and this is getting back to the petition. So it has been brought up, and I think you also kind of brought up, not in detail, but just kind of like in passing during this so far, that Ron Smith should have also been on the recall petition. Mr. Morgan and
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, we did discuss this a little bit in some of our prior episodes, but we would like to hear from someone who has currently been at least a little more active in the petition, why you think that Ron wasn't necessarily included in the petition. And we've had our musings of this. If so, you don't have to worry about like, oh, well, yeah.
Right. I think that there was a few reasons. Ron hasn't done anything to financially benefit himself. We can't say that about the other two. And to use a Bible quote that I think Ron would appreciate, he's easily blown about by every wind of doctrine. So anything that comes up, it's so easy to get Ron on board. So. Going to the commissioner meetings or even just watching them online, like you see Ron do a full 180-degree pivot based on what either Bleck or Barnett say.
Yeah.
Like he has no shadow. He has no just mind about anything. And so I guess that the idea was, it's hard enough to recall two commissioners. That's never been done before.
Right.
So getting all the signatures, it's two separate documents and all that kind of stuff. So adding a third would be just, kind of physically difficult and cumbersome. But also just to minimize the talk that, because these three guys are Republicans, you're just trying to get out Republicans and all that kind of stuff. And, there was some talk that maybe Ron is redeemable. And then, since the recall has come out, Ron just keeps doing crazy stuff and just saying wild stuff. Like his doom and gloom, apocalypse talk a couple weeks ago was just insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that it betrays, where his mind's at, that, none of this matters because the apocalypse is coming tomorrow. And so maybe that's why he doesn't research any of these topics. I don't know, but he doesn't seem to have a clear vision for the county, and ultimately is somebody who's not likely to get reelected. But I don't know. I'm firmly on the fence on whether or not he should have been recalled.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm there too, and I think I've talked about this, previously, where Ron is just trying to make everyone happy. And that was clear in that one commissioner meeting where Chris fell asleep and voted for that amendment that he eventually decided, oh, wait, you're doing what? And then Ron just, went along with it. And then, and then he voted for Black's amendment anyway at the very end. So it didn't really matter. And I mean, that was like a major thing for me where it's like, what is this guy doing sitting in that seat? Is he not listening? Barnett's falling asleep. Bleck's being just fucking blatant about everything. It's like, what are these three doing? So yeah, like I think Smith should be recalled too, but yeah, it's like you say, it's not like he's doing anything quote unquote bad. It's just that he's just filling a seat. Like if I'm in a company and there's a guy working for me and he doesn't really know what he's doing, and his work is okay. It's like, okay, well, I guess you're just here for a paycheck. And I kind of feel like that's Ron's thing too. He's just there to collect and maybe move on.
And so to tack on top of that, so using that, it's that same analogy. If you have one employee that's, just kind of showing up and being a bump on the log, but you have two employees that are major problems, you're going to focus on the major problems.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I know I have prior on the podcast mentioned my comparison to this is you have two kids who are shitting all over the living room floor, and one is just in the bathroom pissing all over the seat. I care about the kids who are shitting on the living room floor. I'll deal with the kid pissing on the seat later. That's not my main concern. And Ron, to me, is the kid pissing on the seat. Yeah. He's done some shit that's been annoying. I hold both him and Barnett responsible for the library issue because I'm sorry, Barnett's whole thing of, oh, we terminated the lease to get the library to come to us. Absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Total bullshit. I think at the very best, he didn't give a shit. And Commissioner West, he was just, look, we need to do this. And Chris's response was, okay, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of going, well, wait a minute. But the library said they can meet us next week. I mean, you won't be here because you got recalled, but they can meet us next week. Let's just, reschedule this for next week. I don't think that either Barnett or Smith have the aptitude for being in leader roles. They do not. They follow when it's the commissioner business stuff.
Look what was just recently published in the Daily Courier about West's emails threatening them if they voted, for against the library. They have. First of all, it is the opinion again of Morgan LLC that West should be nowhere near the fucking county building. He was recalled. Get the fuck out. Yeah, you can argue that, he's a private citizen now. No, that dude has still got strings in there. And then for that email to come out, it's like, yeah, you guys cannot be trusted because you are listening to a recalled ex-commissioner. What are we doing here?
Right.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Well,
100%.
I'm out of questions. Save for this last one. Mr. Morgan, Mr. Spurlock, is there anything else that either of you would like to add or discuss?
I like doing this. This was an excellent conversation. I learned some things, especially after that gun faux pas that I will be now just raging in my head. But I'll leave the last word to you. Is there anything you want to bring up?
I just, we kind of shit on Ron Smith a little bit, and I do want to give him some kudos. So as of a few months ago, all public records requests were rerouted to go through the commissioners. And so as a result of that, a lot of requests have just been left unanswered. And so there was a public records request about those emails. And so Black and Barnett said they don't exist, don't know what you're talking about, all that. And Smith is the one that released them.
Whoa. Oh,
so
okay.
Huge kudos to him. Somebody showed him how to use a computer and how to, find those emails. Yeah. But, he is the one that was responsible for releasing those.
Okay.
And I think that is a huge service to the community to do that.
Yes.
Because what West has done is yet again illegal.
Yeah.
I will definitely give Ron Smith a lot of credit for that because I am not going to. I don't care if it was something where he did it with the intention of doing that, or if it very well could have been this incident of he managed to find this and was just going, oh, this is something that I can do, and then did it and didn't know what the heck he was doing. I don't know, and I don't care. The fact that he did it, that deserves kudos. You are very correct on that.
Yeah.
And I don't imagine he's going to listen to this in any way, shape, or form. But Ron, if you do, honestly, that's awesome. We like that you did that. And that's not partisan. That's not Democrat, Republican, whatever.
Yeah.
That's your job, and you did that, and that is freaking awesome. Please do more of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So I guess the last thing I'll say about that is that I've put it out there publicly that I will donate $1 to the library every time Ron Smith does something good. So the library has gotten their $1 for those documents.
Nice.
Excellent.
I like it. All right. Well, that's about all we're going to cover today. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a registered voter in Josephine County, I implore you to sign the recall petition for Commander Chris and Black. The petition has started off strong, but it is still got a lot of signatures to gather by November 3rd. And while I would like to believe that we're going to have all the signatures we need by midway through October, I am not going to try to fool myself into complacency. Please help this petition get signatures it needs, and that way we can get this recall petition on the ballot. If you cannot sign this petition, if you are not a resident of Josephine County and you need to be a registered voter in Josephine County to sign this petition, if you know anybody in Josephine County who hasn't signed this, who's a registered voter, and you think they would, let them know. Get them to sign this. This is a community effort, and the more of us that participate in it, the more likely it will be that we help remove these two incompetent and corrupt local officials from government. The petition headquarters is located at 123 K Street in Grants Pass. I always feel like I'm saying a Sesame Street name when I say 123. But you can also reach out to them at restorejoconow@gmail.com. And the reason for this recall, it is listed on their website at restorejoco.com. Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. If you have any suggestions or ideas, please be sure to email them to maltliquorsocialists@gmail.com.
Keep your guns holstered.